Hi everyone, today we are going to talk about, if you have zero programming experience, I strongly recommend starting with Scratch. Want to know how to become a developer without a degree? Check the description below. I just finished making a game on Scratch, https://scratch.mid.edu, and learned a lot very quickly. It is intended for kids/teens, but I'd recommend spending a couple of days with it to anyone. You'll learn how to approach programming problems and all the basics without worrying about the syntax. It's so much better than starting with tutorials that just make you copy-paste their code, as you learn by doing and looking at other people's projects to figure things out. My project's code is not perfect, and I'm probably not going to spend more time with it, but it definitely got me motivated to continue learning. If anyone's curious, here's the game that I made. It took 3 days with little programming experience. Working with aspects of the game loop, sprites, sounds, animation, bug testing, etc. really helped me understand the bigger picture. https://scratch.mid.edu/project/2875003,779/ Scratch gets a lot of hate with semi-experienced programmers, the kind to browse this sub, because of its simplicity, but it's actually really good. It teaches you basic programming concepts without all of the complexity of other programming languages. I remember back in school, some of the students in my computer science classes didn't understand the basic concepts of programming, variables, loops, functions, etc. and programming is 90% logic and problem solving. You can't teach programming by teaching the syntax of a language. You have to teach logic. If you know one language, figuring out another is going to be easy, because most of the things are the same. The only difference is the syntax. I've never really found a better way to introduce the idea of scopes than Scratch. Scratch gets a lot of hate with semi-experienced programmers, the kind to browse this sub, because of its simplicity, but it's actually really good. People who piss in your ass because of Scratch mightn't realize Harvard uses Scratch for their introduction to CS class. My big issue with the old school people who say, I started programming in the 80s. Just start doing it, for God's sake, is that programming was a lot simpler in the 80s. It was a great time to learn, and you could follow the rapid development into the 90s and 2000s. Now you've got a whole constellation of languages doing God knows what for technology barely anybody understands. Scratch just makes programming simple for new contemporary learners. I started the 100 Days Off Code Challenge and took CS50 for a week, where this was introduced. I downloaded the Scratch app and played with it for all of 2 hours, so maybe I'll take a wee look again. I did the first C lessons, just to get a taste of the C language, but I'm planning on doing mainly front-end technologies for the first half of the challenge. What other resources are you using outside of the main start-offs? That is Udemy, Free Code Camp, Codecademy etc. I found that resources aimed at children are often optimal for adults as well. I do MMA, and I teach the kids Muay Thai and BJJ classes. I seriously think adults would benefit from the fun games we play to learn proper technique. The same goes for programming. Fun doesn't have to end once you hit 18. Colors and shapes and music will always be more enticing than 500-page technical books or lectures. I personally think most adults don't want to feel silly by playing programming games, but I have played some, and honestly it helped clarify OOP for me. Resources intended for kids definitely don't dive as deep as most adult ones, but they are great for learning basic concepts. Scratch is awesome. I'm doing a year-long senior project using it, and it is saving me a ton of time. Definitely the program I would use if I wanted to get the fundamentals of coding without dealing with all the formatting and confusing statements. Scratch is great for kids emo. I started CS50 this year, and the first set has you create a game in Scratch. Even though I've been coding for a year already and could code the same game in C/Unity, I still put in time with Scratch. It was a lot of fun, but I won't be going back to Scratch either, lol. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please give us a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.